Long ago, the world was whole, but a terrible event, known only as the Sundering, shattered the veil that separates reality from a nightmarish parallel realm. No one knows how it began, only that the skies broke open and horror spilled through. Cities crumbled under clouds of whispering fog, and forests turned inward, devouring their roots. The memory of before is a shape you cannot touch. They left fragments, things that remember for you. Places remained, names drifted. But some things never forgot how to hurt. This is a record of those places. Listen. Once a lush expanse of life, Eldergloom is now a suffocating tangle of twisted trees. They whisper to travelers, mimicking lost loved ones. It is said that if you follow the wrong voice, you vanish. Deep within the forest lies the heartroot, a tree so ancient its bark bleeds black sap. Kayla entered Eldergloom seeking her brother. For days she wandered deeper, chasing his voice. At last, she found him, rooted into a tree, eyes vacant, smiling. His voice joined the forest's. Now hers does too. She stayed, or the forest kept her. The line blurs. A once prosperous mining town now swallowed by madness. Vines of thorns choke the streets, and its great clock tower ticks backward. Time fractures here. People glimpse past and future versions of themselves. Emran, the last clockmaker's apprentice, remained after the collapse. He repaired gears that no longer existed. In the mirror, he saw his older self offering warnings. One day, the mirror cracked, and Emran stepped through. A canyon of unnatural darkness, bottomless and silent. Lights flicker deep below, and voices echo from the edge. Some believe it's the mouth of the other realm. Looking into it too long causes memory loss, and worse. Captain Reyna lowered a cage into the rift. Her voice returned, screaming, layered, changed. Weeks later, she reappeared, blind, hair white, humming a lullaby no one remembered teaching her. The steppe stretches wide, barren and broken. Cracked earth, bones, and howling winds dominate the land. The maws, sinkholes rimmed in stone teeth, open without warning. Vex scavenged the steppe for ivory. He found a skull with his own face carved upon it. Each night his teeth vanished. On the seventh night the earth smiled beneath him, and so did he. Rilene was a wanderer who had lost her home to the horrors. Her path took her through haunted ruins and twisted wilds. She first met the whispering wraiths, shadows that whispered in the voices of her past. They lured her with the voice of her brother, her mother, even her own laughter. She ran. The whispers followed. In a forest clearing, she came upon the thornhide brutes, towering beasts of wood and thorn. She escaped with cuts and splinters, the sound of cracking bark chasing her. She met the lamenting apparitions, whose sorrow became a weight on her chest. She staggered under their grief, but she kept moving. The gloom spawn took shapes from her darkest memories, always one step ahead. She pressed onward, even as the shadows became her past. The reverse ticker moved in impossible time, each step a revolt against the clock. Its ticking chased her. She stepped between beats and fled. Velvet lurkers moved like marionettes, their smiles a promise of being pulled. She slipped between their strings and did not look back. Hollow-eyed watchers waited at the border of vision, keeping census of those who passed. She felt their gaze like cold breath and kept walking. Huskbinders wore the land as a cloak, their roots knitting strangers to the soil. She freed what she could and ran until the vines lost her scent. Beneath the rift sleeps the drowned serpent. Those who nearly drown dream of its coils and glowing eyes. A child once painted it nightly, until one day, she walked into the lake and vanished. Her shoes and a scale were all that remained. The ether vial drifts like fog, possessing minds and memories. It doesn't kill, it replaces. The Echo Warden keeps names like debt, tallying what the veil takes. It does not harm the body so much as the story of it. Even the marks it leaves are remembered wrong. The phantom lens shows you what you'd rather not know. To look is to let the lens take a piece of you. It takes more than sight. It takes what sight is held for. The crown of Null promises relief, names erased and burdens lifted, but blankness is not peace. It is absence shaped like a face. A crown without name is a command without listener. Mindscreen Labs tried to chart the unconscious mind. Their CBU device merged with the veil during the Sundering. Now the cult of the screen worships its monitors, believing reality to be a code to overwrite. Lauren saw his death on a Mindscreen terminal. When it came true, others followed him. One day he melted into static. Only the screen remained. Memories rearranged into warnings and propaganda. Touching the glass leaves something behind. Warnings become commandments when the screen writes them. Sometimes the screen shows you someone you know. Sometimes it shows someone you fear. Mind screen does not reveal the mind. It rewrites it. A relic of impossible power, the eclipse crystal pulses with light that blinds and reveals. Its shards warp time and mind. Seekers of the crystal speak in riddles, forget their names, and walk with shadows. Tane used a shard to relive the day his village burned. He tried to change it, but each loop made things worse. Some relics ring in memory rather than sound. Morel's crew has bargained with what remembers for them. Artifacts hum with borrowed songs. Hands that touch do not come away unchanged. Even the ridiculous can be dangerous in these times. Some books remember you back into existence. Echo Chris mirrors what you were and what you think you lost. Relics spread, and with them, new ways to remember or to forget. The memory bell rings not with sound, but with memory. It brings back forgotten truths, but not always your own. Not all echoes comfort. All these things become offerings to larger mouths. Rillen stood atop the ashen ridge, her feet buried in dust older than memory. Below her, something moved. The murmuring colossus was walking. Thousands of voices, layered, fragmented, whispered secrets she had never told. In the cracked basins, there stirs a presence known as the Echo Maw. It hunts by resonance. Before she could warn him, the air shimmered. Torsk vanished mid-sentence. Only silence remained. There is a terror that wears your skin better than you do. Known only as the Whisper form, this shapeshifter emerged from the deepest fissures of the veil. It does not kill with violence, it replaces. Friends forget you, mirrors betray you. Darrow had promised his children the dog would come back. He followed Prince, small, anxious paws through black dust. Sometimes they disappeared, but always picked up again. It had Fennel's shape, his coat, even his little white paw, but its mouth didn't bark. It whispered. Behind the spiral hill, the real Fennel limped forward, muddy and thin, but alive. The cave found Kaelin on the edge of the weeping fields. Her dog had vanished into it, barking once before silence fell. Inside, time bent. Light fell in strange angles. Her own voice echoed seconds before she spoke. Then the visions began. Flashbacks. Not just memories. Moments lived again. At the heart of the cave lay the monster. It remembered. It fed not on sound nor flesh, but the soul's unanchored moments. There is a place where the wind forgets to blow. The place of nothing. Kyle Mark, wanderer and scribe, walks it still. He dreamed the life of another. Memory crossed. The place of nothing is thinning. He lay on cracked cobblestone, surrounded by crumbling buildings and the hush of still air. "You're late," she said. "We were waiting." A blank page began to write. The town that forgot itself. Time shed its skin here. Floating in the air before him, two eyes. Kaelin Merk's eyes. He knew them. A thread pulled tight between his heartbeat and hers. Two lives braided now by something watching through the veil. And whatever brought them together was not done. The world behind it forgot it had once been whole. This is only the record. There are more fragments. Listen, and do not trust the familiar.